If you have ever wondered what the heck is the difference between a sex therapist, a sex coach, and a sex surrogate, and which one do I need for me? Okay, don't worry, baby. I got the shameless sexuality today on my channel here. So what's up, everybody? If you're new here, hi, I'm Jackie. She, hers are my pronouns. I'm a sex therapist. I'm a sexual wellness coach and a consultant in regards of these areas when it comes to services overall. So essentially, let's break this down a little bit. A sex therapist is someone who goes to school for their master's in clinical mental health counseling, in social work, which can also be the, therapy route for clinical specifically, or even marriage and family therapist. This can also be a PsyD. There's lots of different, sexology programs out there for that psych doctorate level here, which it's really someone who specializes in human sexuality overall. If you want to become a certified sex therapist, it does take some additional times, hours, everything like that. I recommend checking out ASECT. That is a spot where a lot of sex therapists who want to pursue certification can really look at and through. No, I'm not certified. I am on the pursuing track of sex therapy certification, everything like that. So sex therapists are really helping you work through any past problems, anything that's really getting in the way of your sex life. This can include healing the past from relationships, so like relationship red flags, even mini red flags, learning how to spot the red flags, as well as complex trauma and shame, potentially dynamics when it comes to emotionally and psychologically abusive relationships. When it comes to this as well, there can be a lot of identity changes when it comes to sexuality or gender, and some people may want to explore that in sex therapy, especially if they want to be able to explore some different hormone replacement therapy, top surgery, bottom surgery, whatever, right? And when it comes to sex therapy overall, there can be a lot of like DSM-5 diagnosis. So for those of you that don't know, therapists get trained in the Diagnostic Statistic Manual 5 is what we're just going to call it here. But that is a lot of times looking at depression, anxiety, other mental health disorders that could influence sexual libido going up and down. There are a lot of sexual functioning disorders and diagnoses in there. So if you are pursuing sex therapy, education, you could be trained in assessment for that as a sex therapist. And so really is looking at those functioning diagnoses as well that a person may or may not, treat criteria for. Disclaimer, not all sex therapists heal sexual trauma, meaning they don't treat, PTSD in regards of any types of sexual abuse, sexual assault, things of that sort in nature. I personally don't. I refer that shit out because I've had one training and that was like years ago. So I am just not equipped to treat that type of PTSD trauma. So I refer. So when in doubt, refer out. Sex therapy is a lot more about talking and less of the doing. It's really a safe space to just like explore your feelings without judgment or fears or feeling like you need advice or feedback like right away in therapy. It's really to process stuff. Now, let's talk a little bit about what is sexual wellness coaching, because y'all might be like, well, what the fuck is the difference there? So when it comes to sexual wellness coaching, there could be some similarities that people might get twisted when it comes to therapy versus coaching. Coaching is really like having a personal trainer for your sex life. So it's truly something where it's more action oriented. It's more doing. You're going to have exercises. I like to call them sex exercises or pleasure work. Do that pleasure work. I call it pleasure work because we have seen the word as homework as a negative thing. And I'm just like, no, fuck that shit. Like, we are going to make this pleasurable, right? And also take your shameless self-care breaks. If you are ever in sexual wellness coaching or intimacy coaching with a sex coach and you're just like stuck with being with your pleasure work, like take a break, okay? No shame on the self-care game. But so coaching is more so like coming up with sex exercises and a game plan. Really, this is a blend of education, guidance, and also practical feedback for people that are ready to take the steps. Now, this is something where a sex coach is like a guru in some ways for different types of things when it comes to sex here. So this could be practical techniques, really learning how to be a better lover, different types of sex tips, learning about sex toys, being able to explore your body before a partner even jumps in. This is also sexual exploration. What turns you on? What turns you off? does my sexuality change here, right? And if I'm not having any distress with that, coaching can be the most appropriate route versus therapy here, right? And it's really about building confidence here, like advocating for your sexuality, speaking up during sex, exploring some things with BDSM or kink a little bit more, but really understanding like how to take action moving forward. A lot of times people in sex coaching with me will want to learn about different sex toys, want to learn about their body, want to learn about their pleasure zones, want to learn about how to just even talk about sex in a shameless way, because we don't shame, right? So it can also be a lot of communication skills overall. If you don't know, shamelesstherapy.org is my website, so definitely go over there and get my freebie in the pop-up when you scroll down on my first page for a little while, and you get a shameless communication skills freebie. It is like, you know, a big document of all the tea and all the information of really how to communicate in a shameless, aka healthy way. So definitely do that. But sex coaching is more interactive. It's dynamic. It's like, let's go, let's go, let's go, let's go. It's really, you know, game time when you're showing up for sexual wellness coaching and you're practicing how you want to play in the bedroom when it comes to doing your pleasure work with that sex coach, giving you that shameless feedback, self-care, all the things. So it's about motivation, action, and creating a game plan for living your shamelessly sexy, authentic life. Now, when it comes to sexual surrogacy here overall, a sex surrogate is someone that is a trained professional who works with clients on sexual intimacy in regards of through direct physical touch. So they are exploring their bodies more. Like I said that right, you listened to that right, you heard that right. But sex surrogates, they really get hands on to help you work through, you know, your problems. Maybe it's fear of sex, maybe it's I've never had sex, maybe it's I've never explored this with someone. So it's like a safe space with consent. When it comes to sex surrogacy, this can be something where someone does explore a surrogate partner to help the client address specific struggles around building intimacy, overcoming any worries, and really practical hands-on experiences and approaches of like how to even explore sex more if you've never had it before. So it's really a approach that uses real life practices like techniques and tools overall. So when it comes to, you know, finding the right professional for you, really think about whether that's like sex therapy near me, sex coaching, intimacy coaching near me, or a sex surrogate, because these are different types of, you know, services, and some of them they don't have in certain, you know, states, countries, areas. And it's really important to be mindful that maybe you don't have these services in your state or country or areas or city or whatever. So this is definitely things for you to consider. Let me know what questions you have in the comments below. Like this video if you got anything from it, if you learned something new, if you just want to give that energy exchange back to me by uploading and sharing all the sexuality with you, boo. And make sure for those of you that are new, hit subscribe. I am so excited for you to be here and be a part of my Shameless Squad, okay? Thank you so much for being here. Like, comment, subscribe, share, and stay tuned for more. Stay shameless.